Hello guys, welcome to another episode with Rusi Baby. What really changes when couples get divorced and get back together? Can love really survive divorce? A lot of couples when they face divorce, they feel like it's over, like their marriage is over, the love that their partner has for them is over. But on the other hand, some couples actually get divorced and get back together with their partner stronger, wiser, and even much more in love than they were before. So it varies from couples to couple. So in today's episode, I am going to be enlightening you guys on various changes couples go through when they get divorced and get back together. So whether you're seeking for reconciliation, or you're going through something like this, or you just love watching relationship and marriage related videos, today's episode is specially for you. So stay tuned. But of course, before I begin, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also like and comment on my videos as well. Thank you so much for that. So what are the various changes that couples go through after getting divorced and getting back together? Firstly, they often have this emotional and mental changes. Yes, such as they have greater emotional maturity. Yes, they do. After divorce, most couples often have stronger emotions that helps them handle their feelings in a better way. And this is what helps them make their marriage stronger after reconciliation. Couples that experience this usually have stronger sense of identity. Yes, during separation, a lot of couples tend to rediscover themselves. Yes, that period is really somehow after the whole divorce of a thing. So couples tend to rediscover themselves and realize a lot of things. So it actually helps them to come back when they remarry. It actually helps them to come back with a healthier version of themselves. During this during that separation period, there will be a lot of things they rediscover, they realize about themselves, about their partner, about their marriage. With the whole thinking, they have a lot of thinking to do at this stage of separation, with the whole advice coming from family, from friends, colleagues, and all of that. Things will change in them, in their character, in their mindset. A lot of things will change. So it has a way of affecting them and helping them to have a healthier relationship with their partner when they remarry. A lot of people get divorced because of unrealistic expectations in their marriage. Now, when they now get divorced and get back to their partner, they now have more realistic expectations. Yes, after this whole period, couples often get back with their partner with lesser fantasies, with more realistic expectations, which actually also helps them to have the ability to accept their partner's flaws. Because during that whole separation period, they'll usually have a lot of thinking and realization to do. Yes, so it is during that period that they'll actually realize that those unrealistic expectations did not do them any good. So after the whole separation period, they tend to have lesser unrealistic expectations. So when they finally understand and face reality, they're now able to accept their partner. That is why sometimes when couples are going through divorce, are having issues in their marriage because of unrealistic expectations, they are usually advised to separate. It is during this separation that they often realize that fantasies will do them no good. So when they get remarried, when they get back together, they are often better versions of themselves. They often drop those fantasies. They have lesser fantasies that will now help them to continue with their marriage from where they stopped. Couples that get divorced and get back together usually have relationship dynamics such as improved communication. Yes, they now realize that communication is indeed the key. Yes, and because of this, they will now be able to make intentional efforts to have open and calm conversations. Like I always say in my videos, communication is the key and will remain the key. So during the whole process of separation, they will now realize that they actually need to communicate. And now that they're back together, it is that intentional effort to communicate properly that will help them to survive that reunion. That is what will help their marriage to survive. That is what that will keep them going. So communication is very important, and it's when they now actually communicate that they will able to understand each other more. In fact, they will even get to realize a lot of things that before, during, and after the divorce. So communication is very, very important for both the married, divorced, and the people that divorced and remarried. Couples that got divorced and remarried usually have deeper appreciation for each other. During the whole separation process, it actually reminds them of what they miss. Yes, and how they met each other. In fact, it just reminds them of the good old days. It reminds them of how they fell in love, when they met, how the marriage started. All those lovey-dovey things they were doing when they first fell in love, how their marriage happened, the things they faced, the good things they have enjoyed together, how if they have had kids, how the experience was. That separation period, they have a lot of thinking to do during that process. So most times it's during that period that they will actually realize that they actually really love this person, and they will begin to ask themselves what is really the problem. And because of the whole thinking and everything, when they finally get back together, there is this deeper appreciation, deeper sense of appreciation in them that they have for each other. Such couples also have the willingness to compromise more. Second chances often comes with this level of humility. And so this type of couples usually have that willingness to be able to meet each other halfway. The willingness to compromise when I'm being them, because now they want to give their love a second chance. They want to give their marriage a second chance. So the willingness to compromise more will now be that humility to let go of everything, all for the sake of love, all for the sake of peace in their home. That is what will now be in them now that they are back together. When couples get back together, they usually have healthier conflict resolution. Yes, when couples get back together after the whole divorce thing, they now learn how to resolve their arguments. They learn how to resolve their differences. They now understand better ways to resolve their conflict instead of arguing, fighting, and blowing things out of proportion that can lead them to another separation. They now find better ways of dialogue, better ways of communicating, better ways of resolving their conflicts whenever they have any form of misunderstanding, because now they understand that blowing things out of proportion or the whole big time conflict will do them no good. In fact, might even cause them another separation. So they now have better understanding of how to resolve their misunderstandings when they get back together again. Because now they have learned from their past experiences, their past arguments, their past fights, their past misunderstandings, and all of that. So now they now have better understanding of themselves and better ways to resolve their conflicts. When couples get back together, they usually have lifestyle and routine changes. Things will not be exactly the same as they were before the whole divorce thing. Such as they usually have clearer boundaries, clearer responsibilities, clearer roles in their home. Remarried couples usually have firm boundaries and more defined responsibilities. Because especially if maybe it was those sharing of responsibilities that caused the divorce, that led to the whole separation in the first place. Now that they are back together, they will now have clearer boundaries, clearer responsibilities that will help them to avoid what happened before, that will help them to avoid history from repeating itself, that will help them to even maintain peace in the home. So when things are now clearly stated, when responsibilities are now surely divided, it will help them to understand each other more. There will be peace in the home. Everybody now understands and knows their responsibilities and keeps to them, so that the conflicts, the whole misunderstandings does not happen all over again. There will be new relationship rules now that they are back together. Some couples usually introduce changes like therapy, check-ins, date nights, anything that will help make the marriage better. Now that they're giving each other a second chance, they want to give their love, their marriage a second chance. They want to give each other a second chance. So they'll be willing to, introduce changes, things that will help them do better, that will help them avoid conflicts, that will help their marriage become better. So it is those things that will help them. Like that therapy now. That therapy actually helps a lot of couples. Not everybody likes such things, but there are people that therapy has really helped during their whole divorce period, and even when they go back together with their partner. Therapy helped them overcome whatever challenge that they were facing before the divorce. If applicable, they usually have parenting differences. When most couples get back together, they usually have better parenting. Yes, they co-parent differently with better coordination, and they also find more ways of family planning. They just try whatever works for them. And that is my advice to you. When you get back together with your partner, find whatever works for you in your home, whatever that will help the kids to have a better home, to whatever that will help you and your partner to make your home thrive in a better way. Just do what works for you. There will be external and social changes, such as different reactions from family and friends. Some families might actually become more cautious and supportive, while some families will not. It all depends on the situation. It all depends on what caused the divorce in the first place. There are some people that their family will just decide to stay away. Their parents, their family will just decide to stay away, will not want to intervene, will be very careful not to, cause any trouble in between the couple anymore, so that the divorce doesn't happen again, and so that they can find peace, just to allow them to discover themselves, to understand themselves again and find peace. While some other families might actually be, maybe for some reason they might be against the reunion, might not be so supportive. So the main thing, what I'm trying to say, is there will be changes, there will be reactions from family and friends. It could be positive changes, it could be negative reactions, whichever one. When couples get divorced and remarry, there will be change in social dynamics. Yes, some couples will just want a small social circle. They'll just want their own privacy. They'll want re-evaluation in friendship. They'll want to change their social circle. Yes, especially, for example, if maybe the misunderstanding, the whole divorce of a thing was as a result of intervention from social circle. Maybe their friends joined in making the whole case blow out of proportion, or maybe their friends just caused problem, or it was their friends that caused the whole problem and they made it reach to divorce in the first place. They will want something more private. They will want to cut off from some bad friends. They want to just focus on the good ones, on people that really want them to find peace, the people that really want their happiness. And sometimes, even if it's not their friends that cause the divorce, or even if their friends don't have a hand in the divorce, sometimes couples just choose to have smaller social circle, just few friends close to the family, and that is it, all just for privacy. There are people like that. There are couples that just made that decision, and sometimes it's actually better. It all depends on the whole situation, and it's also a choice. And finally, for today's episode, there will be reflection changes, because now they both understand what is at stake. They know what is at stake. So remarried couples usually become more protective of their relationship, and they may become more careful of how they handle their issues, so that history does not repeat itself. And this is actually very important, because that whole separation period is a time of reflection. It is that whatever that happens during that period that will determine whether they will get back together or not, or whether they will remain divorced. So that whole reflection stage helps them to understand. Now, when they finally get back together, there will be reflection changes. They now understand things properly. They have rediscovered themselves. They have realized a lot of things. So definitely there will be reflection changes. So that is all for today's episode. So whether you're about to get divorced, or you're divorced, or you just go back together with your partner, or you just like watching marriage related videos, I want you to understand that divorce is not easy. Both for the rich and the poor, my dear, divorce is not easy. It is not easy at all. Nobody prays for divorce, but sometimes it just happens. It just happens. So that stage is not an easy stage at all. It's a stage where a lot of things happen, because it is what happens in that divorce stage that will determine whether that couple will get back together or not. A lot of people actually go through a lot during that divorce stage, because the changes. It was not like it used to be when they were married, they have a partner, their kids are with them. A lot of changes. Now that they are single again, a lot of rediscovery, a lot of realization. So it is not easy at all for couples that got divorced. It is not easy for any of them. So I wish you the best of luck if you're trying to get back to your partner. I wish you all the best in whatever decision you decide to make. So that is all for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thanks so much for listening. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Also like and comment on my videos as well. Thank you so much for watching. See you in another episode with Rusi Baby.